Alright guys, so what's up? It's Tanner from Everything Outdoors, and today I'm going to kind of teach you how to rig up a Texas rig and kind of what is a Texas rig. So basically, a Texas rig is kind of it's a real simple rig to throw certain soft plastic baits by themselves, whether, trying to imitate like a worm or a lizard or some kind of creature, and just kind of persuade the bass that, hey, this is real, I want to eat it. And basically, it's a very simple rig. You need four things. Very simple but very effective rig. I love using it myself. You can throw it with worms. You can throw it with kind of like creature baits. For example, like a brush hog or something like that. And it just works phenomenal. I love it myself, and I know a lot of people that do love it, and it catches fish most of the time. When the bass are kind of finicky, it's kind of like a shaky head, but a little bit more free, maybe a little bit more bulkier. So basically, when the bass are pretty finicky, or you want to kind of throw it near a stump, or something like that, where you don't think, maybe you've thrown your jig a few times, there's a fish there, you've thrown your jig a few times, or you've thrown whatever a few times and they're not biting because they're just kind of finicky. A Texas rig is a great rig to get those bass to bite. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So the four things you need are a bullet sinker, line, depending on where you're fishing at. If you're throwing, maybe not so thick cover, you might want 10 to 17 pound test, or 10 to 12 pound test. And if you're fishing some kind of, some thick cover, you might want somewhere around 17 to 20 pound test, or even some kind of braid. It's kind of just up to you, whatever you think, depending on your cover. And then you need some kind of soft plastic, like a creature bait, or for example, like a baby brush hog, or this is kind of like an off-brand, some kind of baby brush hog with like some ribbon tails. Some kind of creature bait, something that you think the bass would like to feed on. Also, kind of depending on where you're fishing at, some ponds have a little different kind of feel to them. So you might not want to throw something that's big, or you might want to throw something bigger in lakes, or just depending on where you're at. Kind of depends on what you want to throw, but it's all up to you. And then lastly, you need a 4/0 hook, which I have somewhere around here. Here it is. You need a 4/0 hook is what I prefer. Just a normal 4/0 hook. You got to make sure they're good and sharp. Got a nice barb. Make sure they're good hooks, because if not, you don't want to hook a big fish and end up it getting off just because your hook is slacking. So there's a little better view. Just a normal 4/0 hook. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the first thing you're gonna do before you even tie your hook on. You're gonna take your line and your bullet sinker. You wanna put your bullet sinker on. I guess kind of point first, I guess is what you want to call it. So you just want, if this side right here being the end of your line, you want your point to go this way. So you sling that up, kind of up your line there. Then you want to take your hook, and you're gonna tie. What I like to tie is a Palomar knot. That's my favorite knot to tie. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do. If you can see there, you want to run your line through the eye of the hook and pull it out. You want to give yourself probably a good 6 inches. Take it, run it back through the eye of the hook, and clamp it down with your fingers and pull out. You want a good size loop on this side, and you want to hold both ends over here in your left hand, and we want a good loop right here. So then you're going to tie a basic overhand knot. If you don't know what an overhand knot is, pretty much the first knot in tying your shoe. You want to just go over like that and tuck it back in through the loop you just made. So you want to take your loop and tuck it back through the loop you just made. And there you go. So now you have an overhand knot with your loop still on your right side. Pull it down a little bit is what I like to do, but not crazy amounts. Now you don't want it tight. So then you want to take your loop and run it right around. See that? If you can see. You want to run it around your hook. Then you can grab your end of the hook, get it wet, and pull it tight. Now on the Palomar knot, sometimes, if you can see, it will get hooked up back here. Just grab it and pull it over like this. So we'll go. It's kind of a big eye on this hook, and you want to pull it snug. So what I like to do, just to make sure, is just pull on both ends real tight, and then you're ready to go ahead and clip your line off. So once you clip your line, I always check it again, because sometimes after you clip your line, it will loosen up. I don't know why. Just your knot's not tight enough. So now what you have is you have your hook tied on and your sinker on, your bullet sinker on like this. This is exactly what you want it to look like. Then lastly, take your soft plastic, your creature bait, and you want to nose hook it. So if you don't know what that is, take it, go right down the center there, and pull it out about 1/4 of an inch, and pull it straight out. See, this is what I mean by flush. Here's my hook, and here's the middle of my bait. So you want it to come right out the middle, and then push it all the way up and around that bend, and twist it around. You want to take your hook, and you want to snug it right up in the back. Make sure it's flush with the middle, and kind of bring it out the top. This is the way I like to do it. I feel like you get better hookup ratios. So bring it out the top, and then just kind of push it back down and into the back again. See how it's kind of sticking up right here? So just kind of push it back in. I feel like you get a lot better hookup ratios. And then you want to just kind of straighten your worm out. You want to get the head of your worm up on that eye to kind of hide it a little bit. And finished product, after I knock that down, looks just like this. And I'll show you the action. Hopefully I can get some underwater shots, but basically when you throw it in, it's going to come down like this. And yes, this is free, so your sinker is free, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to come down like this, and it's going to suspend. And when you'll pop it, and your sinker will stay on the bottom, but the tail end of your worm will kind of stay up like this. And see, mine has these ribbon tails here, so they'll kind of kick up in the water, and then you just slowly work it, and then you just keep popping it, and this will move with the water. Just kind of flows with the water, and the water actually makes it look like it's moving. So that just, it's a very good, the Texas rig is a very good rig for when the bass are kind of finicky, kind of like a shaky head. It's kind of the same deal as a shaky head. You don't get all these crazy looking jigs and crankbaits, and it looks a lot more normal than most baits. So the bass aren't as scared to go and try to eat it. So now you guys know how to rig it up, and so now I'm just going to kind of show you what its action is. Basically, I'm going to do it in the bathtub. Just going to be honest. I wish I had enough money to just go and have just this awesome tank that I can do it in, but I can't because I'm poor. So I'm just going to use the bathtub. I didn't put a whole lot of water in it, so sinker kind of comes out of the water and back in, but it doesn't really matter. You still see the action. The bait kind of will come up and will fall back down, and the tail will kind of suspend and kind of move. It's better. It works better with moving water, in the pond where you kind of will, or the lake where it'll kind of teeter-totter like this. But you still get the gist, and so this is just to show you the action. So now you know what a Texas rig is, how to rig it, and what it looks like. So give me some feedback. Comment. I love reading comments, and hopefully I can get back to you, and subscribe for more videos.